Hey, 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 everybody. It's Ashley Greer, and I want to talk to you today about connecting with that billionaire self that you have inside, that will help you understand your passions, will help you understand what your purpose is, will help you connect with those big, juicy desires that you want to manifest and that you want to make happen in your life. So let's talk about this a little bit, because most people, and I hear from this from client after client, most people have difficulty connecting with their sense that everything is possible in their life. Their sense they can have it all. I have had, particularly women, tell me, I do not think I can have it all. And let me tell you all, this is total and utter BS. The reason this happens is we have limiting beliefs in our mind that stranglehold and that basically strangle the life out of what we think is possible for us in our life. We do not think something is possible, like we can have it all. We can have a billionaire lifestyle. We can have a business that we love. We can have a beautiful relationship, whatever it might be, because we have all these limiting beliefs that tell us it's going to be hard, or that's impossible, or nobody gets to have it all, or I have to work too hard, or I'm going to be really stressed out, or I'm going to be overwhelmed, or whatever those limiting beliefs might be. The problem is we cannot plant seeds for the future. We cannot connect with what we see as possible for ourselves in our life when we are strangled by this feeling that I can only do this tiny little corner of reality. So bear with me here. Imagine you have a garden, and that garden is full of weeds. If that garden is full of weeds, you can just throw a whole handful of tomato seeds out there and watch a beautiful garden of tomato plants sprout up. Those weeds are going to strangle out the new plants. They're not going to allow them to blossom and grow. You're not going to see those new tomato plants burst forward with a bunch of tomato fruit for you to enjoy. Instead, you're going to have a whole bunch of weeds, and then you're going to go, well, I guess I can't grow tomatoes. I'm not meant to have tomatoes. I guess tomatoes aren't meant for me, right? Those are those limiting beliefs that perpetuate themselves. Instead, if you go in there and you pull up all those weeds, which are those limiting beliefs, and then you've got a beautiful open plot of soil, and then you plant those seeds, those tomato plants, you're going to see those tomato plants blossom and grow as long as you nurture them, right? Those are the new beliefs that set you toward your goals and desires. The problem is that we all have all of these limiting beliefs which stranglehold and strangle out what we really want to accomplish in our life and what we think is these amazing goals that seem totally out of whack and totally impossible. We convince ourselves that they're totally impossible, not because they're totally impossible, but because we have all of these strangling little beliefs that tell us that that's for somebody else. I have to be a different kind of person to have those things. That's going to be too overwhelming, all of this stuff. But in order to connect with your billionaire self, the self that knows what she or he wants to do, the self who knows what you're made of, the self who knows your purpose, the self who is contributing to society, the self who loves your life, you need to basically get outside of your current thinking, get outside of those limiting beliefs, and play with reality. You need to play with the nature of what's possible. And one of the best and most exciting and most fun ways is to think for yourself, that would be pretty cool. Is to think to yourself, that would be pretty freaking cool. When you can say to yourself, instead of saying, well, I'm an accountant, right? I know how to use Excel spreadsheets and move numbers around, and that's what I'm good at. And so for me to be a billionaire, I'd have to become an accountant to billionaires. No, you go and you put yourself in the metaphysical, in the visualization of being a billionaire who has enough money to pay whoever to do whatever, who doesn't need to know how to get things done because they can pay other people to figure it out. And you let yourself imagine what it is you would be doing with your time. So I do this exercise regularly, and I'm more surprised at what I discover, because it's things which sound impossible but sound really freaking cool. Okay? So the other day I was doing this exercise with my significant other, and I came up with the idea of what I would really love to do is create virtual reality experiences where people can actually enter a virtual reality world like it's real, like it's the Matrix, and go through a story and experience it almost like a choose your own adventure book. You just live it. And I'm like, that would be really freaking cool. And I'm like, I don't even know if that technology exists. And I have no idea what kind of people work on that, but that would be really freaking cool. What I've done is I've just planted a seed of potential. I've planted a seed of possibility in my head. Who knows, in 30 years, that might be something that the everyday person could take part of. We do not know where technology and where the world is headed towards. We do not know what's possible from the here and now. The only thing we can do is we can connect with the potentialities in the future. Dream allows them to say, there were no limits, absolutely none. What would I do? Well, I would go to outer space. That's another one I was recently telling a client about. I would go to outer space. Well, I can't buy a $500,000 ticket or however much that is right now to go up on one of those, near Earth space shuttles or planes or whatever they are. But who knows? In 20 years, it's probably going to be the cost of an airplane ticket. I'm sure I'll be able to do it at that point. Cool. I don't have to do it now. It's pretty neat to think about doing it down the road. Oh, I'd love to be able to, write a best-selling book. Well, that's maybe not something that I have time to dedicate now, but if I start jotting down ideas, I'm going to have a whole book's worth of ideas together in a couple months. And then I'm going to be able to just even work on a paragraph a night, and I'll have it done in a year or two. So who says it's going to happen in a couple of years? It's amazing what we can actually do when we take off the constraints of what we think is possible. And that's when we connect with that everything is possible phrase that I say all the time. Everything is possible. When you can connect with the nature of that, which is why I'm saying connect with the billionaire mindset. It's not much about being a billionaire. It's that if you were a billionaire, then everything is possible. You can pay people to do whatever. You can pay for anything to get done. I could pay for the people to technologically, program the VR experience or whatever. I don't have to know that part. When you get outside of the constraints of what's possible, what's practical, what's logical, in the here and now, and you allow yourself to truly dream, this is when your mind begins to see really interesting and sneaky opportunities that you never saw before. Let me give you a real life example of what this looks like and how this can play out. Just 5 years ago, was this 5 years ago? 6 years ago, I was engaged to a very nice man. I was living in a very, very small town in Texas after I got my PhD. Back in 2003, 17 years ago, I wrote a bucket list, which is essentially a wouldn't that be cool list. And on that bucket list were things like live in a cabin in the Rocky Mountains, travel the world, all these different places around the world I wanted to go, move to Hawaii, travel to Southeast Asia, go to Australia, all of this stuff. In my mind, when I created that list 17 years ago, I never really thought any of that stuff was quite possible, but I let myself dream anyway. Even 6 years ago, when I was in this relationship and I was in this house and I was in this life and I was working in, a 9-to-5 job that really was 9 to 5, 12 days a week, totally stressed out. I didn't really think it was possible even then. And this is actually the life I live today. I'm in Australia right now. I spend most of my time in Bali. I have lived in Hawaii. I've lived in a log cabin in the Rocky Mountains. I've traveled so many different places. I own my own business. I have the freedom to have whatever hours that I want, to work from anywhere. I have the freedom to work with the clients that I love. I get the freedom to talk about the things that I care about. And this all started from a life where I could not contemplate that these things were actually possible. I didn't think it was actually, 17 years ago, the internet wasn't even as big as today. You couldn't go and have a business online where you could jet set around the world and, write your stuff or talk to your clients on Skype anywhere. It wasn't possible, and yet I let myself dream. This is what I'm encouraging you to do today. Let yourself dream. Let yourself dream those impossible dreams. Those dreams that might not seem based in reality. Those dreams that if you told your friends or your parents or whomever, they might think you kind of lost the plot. You're kind of a little nuts. Be a little nuts. Because I'll tell you what, brilliance looks like insanity to those people who don't get it. And brilliance looks like insanity to you when you're not there yet. It also reminds me of, I'm a big science fiction fan. It reminds me of how, was it Carl Sagan who said that technology looks like magic to people from the past, to people, if this were the medieval ages, something like an iPad would look like absolute magic. I could show you people doing things. It would look like a portal through time or something, show them a movie on an iPad, which to us, it's like, oh, it's really simple. It would look like magic. It would look like absolute ridiculousness. You don't know what's possible. It's not about believing in bippity boppity boo stuff. This is science. the more you allow yourself to see potentialities, the more you allow yourself to put a filter on that sees that there are edges that we cannot imagine, that there are edges of experience from this moment that I cannot yet comprehend. And so I'm going to allow myself the gift of the suspension of disbelief, allow myself to let go of my doubt. Just why hold on to it? Because if I let go of my where I did not see any in the past, then I'm going to be able to create opportunities where perhaps there were none. This is one of the problems I see with the law of attraction. It's one of the problems I see with the law of attraction time and time again. People say, I don't like the law of attraction because it just sounds like think about some stuff and then $1 million is going to pop into your bank account. This to me is not the true nature of the law of attraction. The true nature of the law of attraction is about neuroscience. It's about neuropsychology. It's about the way the brain works. The brain is essentially a filtering mechanism, and it will see either opportunity or it will see obstacles depending on what you train it to see. And so if you train yourself through visualization, affirmations, mantras, things like that, you pull out those limiting beliefs and you train yourself to see opportunity rather than obstacles, you're going to see more opportunities than obstacles, and you're going to have and achieve and find way more than bull. There's plenty of amazing men out there, women out there, depending on your preferences. There are plenty, but when you have that belief rather than opportunities, when you train yourself to see opportunities, then anything is possible. Even those weird little seeds you plant by projecting yourself into the billionaire life, into your billionaire life. So I encourage you to play with this and play with the potentialities of life. And I can't coach who helps people start businesses and scale businesses that they love, that bring balance in the sense of, I can have it all, because you don't have to sacrifice in order to be successful. All right, talk next time. Bye.